Focalors is an interesting god. While she didn't deceive the heavenly principles into thinking the prophecy had falsely happened, because, I mean, it did, to the letter. In fact, God, those people up there in Celestia, they're great, aren't they? She did find a path to ensure that when the prophecy of doom did happen, it would not result in everyone's death. Had she not taken action, everyone would have surely died the moment the primordial water touched them. But through her cunning plan, she made it not so, and instead chose to rely on the fact that everyone in Fontaine is capable of swimming during a fucking tsunami. Regardless, in the end, the prophecy had a net positive, and that Fontanians became real humans, so hats off to Focalors. She truly is the best god Fontaine has ever seen. Of course, the other gods didn't set the bar very high, because you see, this is not the first time the area known as Fontaine has been hit with the prophecy of doom. Before Fontaine, the landmass was known as Rumeria, and like Fontaine, had a prophecy that spelled out their destruction. Unlucky for them, however, their god was not Focalors. No, they got stuck with the mentally challenged, shellless armadillo that is God King Remus, who provided Focalors with a play-by-play blueprint on what not to do when you get hit with the prophecy of doom. I mean, I kind of tip it though, because he said if anyone's gonna destroy this nation, it's gonna be me. His whole game plan was just when the Abyss gets his kingdom, they just look at this shit like, what the fuck happened here? So without further ado, let's dive into the hilarious story that is the fall of Rumeria. The kingdom of Rumeria has a rather interesting origin story detailed in the Broken Goblet of Pristine Sea, which writes, quote, "Legend says that when the first usurper came to the primordial sea, the first sovereign gave him a goblet of water. Later, he became the unquestioned God King and used his goblet of water to refine the mysterious drops of dew, establishing a splendid and powerful empire." This description of things is interesting for a number of reasons. One, Remus is called the first usurper, and two, the first sovereign gave him a goblet of water with special properties. Given the text in Chinese refers to the first sovereign as the previous lord of the nation of water, it's almost certainly referring to the original Hydro Sovereign. However, this being the Hydro Sovereign baffles me more than anything. Why is he granting Remus powers? And also, why is Remus called the first usurper? Was it because he became the new lord of the nation of water, or was it because he somehow came to possess the authority of Hydros? Just cause remember, according to Nervalets, only those who take the authority become the usurpers.
As a survivor of the dragon race who has regained my full dragonhood, I must fulfill my oaths and obligations, even if it means returning all the water in the oceans back to the heavens. In taking the authority of Electro, the Narukami placed herself on the list of the usurpers. She will... Oh.
I mean, this could help to explain some of his nicknames, like the one with unsurpassed authority and the king of all under the heavens, but again, I'm still curious, if he stole the Hydro Sovereign's powers, I mean, it was granted to him by the heavens, I would imagine, why would the Hydro Sovereign then help him? So many unanswered questions. Moving on, after receiving this magic goblet from the Hydro Sovereign, Remus would descend upon Meripus and teach people the basics of civilization like agriculture, architecture, and most importantly, how to play music and spread art. You see, Remus valued music and art so highly in his kingdom because he believed this is what separated humans from all other living beings. With his newfound kingdom, Remus would sail the seas, conquering all the nearby islands and capturing the barbarians. And it's reported that even, quote, the great dragon beneath the abyssal depths submitted to his power. I don't. Can anyone tell me the last dub the dragon race has taken? Genuinely. Weak bitches. Things were going swimmingly. I'm sorry. In Rumeria until a prophecy of doom began circulating that states, quote, the greatest empire will face the most utter destruction, and this is Fortuna. But old Remus feared no prophecy, for he already had a plan. Thus did the God King derive the primordial plan from the 7-day rotation and the flowing winds of sea and land, and composed a harmonious symphony of prosperity. He believed that so long as all the cities echoed with this greatest of songs, they would escape the judgment of fate and at last reach the land of eternal bliss. That's right, he told the people, just keep playing your fucking cello, because that right there will set us free. I gotta tip the hopefulness. You're dumb, but, your heart's in the right place. And for a time, the capital of Rumeria, Capitolius, was buzzing with delightful music and a constant string of harmonious tunes. Seated in his throne in the middle of Capitolius was Remus, who loved taking in the music and correcting people when they messed up while plucking his own instrument. Randomly, however, the God King decided to share his power and authority with 4 humans who became known as Hormosts. It seems like the job of the Hormosts was to ensure people don't mess up playing their music. I mean, 2 of these Hormosts were Boethus and Cassiodor. You can imagine it was quite reassuring for the random street dude doing his part in playing music to be botched over by a super nigga with godlike powers hovering over him with a baseball bat going, "Hit the wrong note, bro. Hit the wrong fucking note. I dare you." Sadly for Remus, however, granting humans divine power proved to be a fatal mistake, as what followed soon after was violence and revolts born of greed and corruption. After hearing one too many dogshit songs, Remus figured he needed to beat the prophecy in a different way and had been going mad thinking about it. And after visiting the nation of dragons, concocted a weird-ass plan that was like mix the primordial water with a stone to create a gold ichor or some shit. I don't know. It's written, quote, "The arrogant usurper once mixed insoluble ichor with pure water to contain wisdom and memories, allowing his subjects and servants to discard their physical bodies and obtain independent eternal lives. But the pain of severing soul and body cannot be endured by any ordinary life, and the usurper's order tore apart and shattered souls." Yeah, so he was like, Remus was going rogue towards the end here. He wanted to use the golden ichor to trap people's souls and have them live eternally through it. He also randomly told people to kill Lockfolk and Oceanids for, I don't even know. So something about them like fucking up the balance. I mean, tired of this. The Dragon King Skyla led a rebellion versus Rumeria and told his army to target musicians. I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I still get a kick out of that. As the war raged on, Remus slept, and after waking up the next morning, went, I don't think I'm solving this prophecy in the right way. And he backtracked on everything. Boethus saw this as a sign of retreat and felt betrayed by Remus, so he stole the golden ichor and sealed away Skyla with it. In the end, all 3 and the entire kingdom of Rumeria would be swept away by the abyss. And that's it. This whole story becomes weirder when you realize that the Hydro Sovereign was probably just Skyla. How the fuck do you say this guy's name? I mean, it's either they were the same person or there was a Hydro Sovereign and a Dragon King. Just because remember, this all predates Egeria, so the Hydro Sovereign is still serving as the primordial water's heart right now. Ain't it crazy how 2 different gods can react to what was essentially the same prophecy? One calmly sits at the bottom of the ocean and ponders it for a long time before sacrificing herself. Whereas the other just goes, watch this, and he blasted the nation before the abyss could even come. It takes a real man to do that. If he can't have his kingdom, no one can.